I used to be such a poor old beggar. I was starving until one day I tricked God himself into falling into my bowl. Now, Hafiz is infinitely rich, but all I ever want to do is empty my emerald-filled pockets upon this tear-stained world. Beloved, the last time you came through the city, so beautiful and naked, you left 1,000 women crazy and impossible to live with. You left 1,000 married men confused about their gender. The children ran from their classrooms, and the teachers, they were glad that you came. And the sun wanted to leave its royal cage in the sky, and at last, lay its ancient love at your feet. And I wish that you would have let it, so everyone could have died like Hafiz, dancing so happily, filled with unbearable ecstasy and divine light. On the night you cross the street from your shop and your home to the cemetery, you will hear my familiar voice hailing you from inside the open grave. That heart tumult is my signal to you igniting in the tomb. On the night you cross the street from your shop and your house, you'll hear my familiar voice hailing you from inside the open grave. And you will realize that we have never been apart. I am the clear consciousness, the core of your being, the same in ecstasy as in self-hating fatigue. That night when you escape all fear of snake bites and irritation with the ants, you'll hear my familiar voice, see the candles being lit, smell the incense, the surprise meal prepared by the lover inside all of your other lovers. That heart tumult is my signal to you igniting in the tomb. So don't fuss with the shroud or the graveyard road dust. Those get ripped open and washed away in the music of our finally meeting. And don't look for me in human shape. I am inside your looking. No room for form, with a love this strong. Beat the drums, and let the poets speak. This is a day of purification for those who are already mature and initiated into what love is. There is no need to wait until we die. There is more to want here than money and being famous and bites of roasted meat. Now, what shall we call this new sort of gazing house that is opened in our town, where people sit quietly and pour out their glancing like light, like answering? We have a huge barrel of wine. We have a huge barrel of wine, but no cups. That's fine with us. In the morning, we glow. And in the evening, we glow again. They say there is no future for us. They are right, which is fine with us. Don't worry about remembering these songs. And if one of our instruments should break, it doesn't matter. We have fallen into the place where everything is music. The strumming and the flute notes rise into the atmosphere. And even if the whole world's harp should burn up, there will still be hidden instruments playing. So the candle flickers and goes out. We have a piece of flint and a spark. This singing art is sea foam. The graceful movements originate from a pearl somewhere on the bottom of the ocean floor. Poems reach up like the edge of driftwood along the beach, wanting and wanting. They derive from a slow and powerful root that we cannot see. No more words. Open the window in the center of your chest and let the spirits fly in and out. I know how you can get if you have not had a drink of love. Your face hardens. Your sweet muscles cramp. Children become concerned about a strange look that appears in your eyes, which even begins to worry your own mirror. angels and birds sense your sadness. They call an important conference in a tall tree to decide which secret code to chant to heal your mind and heart. Even angels fear that brand of madness that arrays itself against the world and throws sharp stones and spears into the innocent and into oneself. Yes, I know how you can get if you have not had a drink from God's hands. You might rip apart every sentence your friends and teachers say, looking for hidden clauses. You might try to rip apart every sentence your friends and teachers say, looking for hidden clauses. You might take out a ruler and try to measure it from every angle in your darkness, the beautiful dimensions of a heart that you once trusted. Yes, I know how you can get if you have not had a drink of love. That is why all the great ones remind us of the vital need to remember God and come to know that she is playful and just wanting to help. That is why Hafiz says, bring your cups near to me, for I am a sweet old vagabond with an infinite, leaking barrel of laughter and truth and light that the beloved has tied to my back. Indeed, bring your hearts to me, for all I care about is quenching your thirst for freedom. All a sane man could ever care about is giving love. Not Christian, Jew, or Muslim, not Hindu, Buddhist, Sufi, or Zen, not any religion or cultural system. I am not from the East or the West, not up from the ground or down from the sky, not natural or ethereal, not composed of elements at all. I do not exist, did not descend from Adam or Eve or any origin story. My place is the placeless, a trace of the traceless, neither body nor soul. I belong to the beloved, have known the two worlds as one, and that one call to and know. First, last, inner, outer, only that breath, breathing, human being. That's Rumi.
Yeah, very nice.
We'll do one from Adya.
Of course.
If you prefer smoke If you prefer smoke over fire, then get up now and leave. For I do not intend to perfume your mind's clothing with any more sooty knowledge. I have something else in mind. God is in a mood to plunder all of your riches and fling you nakedly into such breathtaking poverty that all that will be left of you is a tendency to shine. So don't just sit around this flame, choking on your mind. This is no campfire song to mindlessly mantra yourself to sleep with. Jump now into the space between two thoughts before I burn the damn place down. I like to sip sweet tea, a mix of peppermint and licorice, amber, gold, and smooth as silk. I have a silk shirt that feels like that tea tastes. It sits on my shoulders like a warm breeze. That tea tastes like Ramana's soft eyes, like Buddha's serene face. People go far and wide looking for Buddha's enlightenment, but I just sip my tea, and my tea swallows me.
Very nice.
Buddha breaks into a grin. Ramana winks one eye, like my grandfather did when he knew that I knew what he knew. I like green tea too, strong and bitter, like the taste of grass, like tasting sure defeat, the kind you can taste on the tip of your tongue, the kind that can change your life on a dime forever. With each bitter sip, Manjushri's sword cuts the mind to pieces, cuts it awake, and cuts awakeness into emptiness. People come here to listen to my Dharma words when all I really want to do is sell them a little tea. I don't get tired of you. Don't grow weary of being compassionate toward me. All of this thirst equipment. All of this thirst equipment must surely be tired of me. The water jar and the water carrier. There is a thirsty fish in me that can never get enough of what it is thirsty for. Someone show me the way to the ocean. Break these half measures and small containers. All of this fantasy and grief. Let my house be drowned in the wave that rose last night from the courtyard in the center of my chest. Joseph fell like the moon into my well. The harvest that I expected was washed away. But no matter, a fire has risen from above my tombstone hat. I don't want learning or dignity or respectability. I want this music and this dawn and the warmth of your cheek against mine. The grief armies assemble, but I am not going with them. This is always how it is when I finish a poem. A great silence overcomes me, and I wonder why I ever thought to use language at all. This is a Kabir poem. Friends, hope for the guests while you are still alive. Think and think while you're still alive. Jump into experience while you're still alive. What you call salvation belongs to a time before death. The idea that the soul will merge with the ecstatic simply because the body is rotten, that is all fantasy. What is found now is found then. If you find nothing now, in the next life, you will simply end up with an apartment in the city of death. But if you make love with the divine now, in the next life, you will have the face of satisfied desire. So, plunge into the truth. Discover who the teacher really is. Believe in the great sound. Kabir says, when the guest is being searched for, when the guest is being searched for, it is the intensity of the longing that does all of the work. Look at me, and you will see a slave of that intensity. This is a poet, a translation by Daniel Ladinsky of a poet named Tukaram. You might hear the beautiful shout, Geronimo! From the lover who just dove from a cliff and is heading full speed into the ocean, into the beloved. And of course, there will always be a lot of gab along the shore from those who are drawn to God, but have yet to get bare-assed and go in. Geronimo may be the last word you hear from that brave gal. As she is falling at 625 miles an hour into the water. For once beneath the waves, only fish still open their mouths, bargaining for something. Love speaks in the absence of God, not at the heights of passion. Tear down this house. Tear down this house. 100,000 new houses can be built from the transparent yellow carnelian buried beneath it. The only way to get at that is to do the work of demolition and then digging under the foundation. With that value in hand, the new construction will be done without effort. Anyway, sooner or later, the house will fall down on its own. The jeweled treasure will be revealed. But if you wait and just let it happen, it will not be yours. The jeweled treasure is your pay for doing the pick and shovel work. This is a rented house. You don't own the deed. You've taken out a lease and you've set up a little shop where you barely make a living, sewing patches on torn clothing, while only a few feet underneath are two veins, pure red and bright gold, carnelian. Quick, quick, take the pickaxe and pry the foundation. You have got to quit this seamstress work. A chickpea leaps almost over the edge of the pot where it is boiling. Why are you doing this to me? The cook knocks him down with a ladle. Don't you try to get out. You think that I am torturing you. I am giving you flavor so that you can mix with the spices and the rice and become the lovely vitality of a human being. Remember when you drank rain in the garden. That was for this. Grace first, sexual pleasure, and then a boiling new life begins, and the friend has something good to eat. The chickpea will eventually say, "Boil me some more. Hit me with your skimming spoon. I can't do this by myself." I'm like an elephant who dreams of gardens in Hindustan and doesn't pay attention to his driver. You are my cook, my driver, my way into existence. I love your cooking. The cook says, "I was once like you, fresh from the ground. Then I boiled in time and boiled again in the body, 2 fierce boilings. Animal energies became powerful and I controlled them with practices. Then I boiled some more and boiled once beyond that and became your teacher." Move beyond any attachment to names. Every war and every conflict between human beings has happened because of some disagreement over names. This is such an unnecessary foolishness, because just beyond the arguing, there is a long table of companionship set and waiting for us to sit down. What is praised is one. What is praised is one. And so, the praise is one too. Many jugs being poured into a huge basin. All religions, all this singing one song. The differences are just illusion and vanity. Sunlight looks slightly different on this wall than it does on that one, and a whole lot different on this other one, but it is one light. We borrow these clothes, these time and space personalities from a light. And when we praise, we are pouring them back in. What is praised is one, and so the praise is one too. Many, many jugs being poured into a huge basin. All religions, all of this singing one song. I love Rumi's poems on that place, the place of true spirituality. He nails it. In fact, the first poem that I ever heard was on that subject. It was a long, long story. I won't do the whole thing, but I want to do a little excerpt from it, about Moses and the shepherd. Moses overhears the shepherd on the road praying, and he doesn't like the way that he's praying. He's too familiar with God. And so he scolds him, and the shepherd rips his clothes and goes out into the desert. And then God has a little talk with Moses. He says, "You have separated me from one of my own. Did you come as a prophet to unite or to sever? I have given each being a separate and unique way of seeing and knowing and saying that knowledge. What is wrong to you is right for him. Ways of worshiping are not to be ranked as better or worse than one another. Hindus do Hindu things. The Dravidian Muslims in India do what they do. It is all praise, and it is all right. It's not me that's glorified in acts of worship. It's the worshiper. Purity and impurity, sloth and diligence in worship, these mean nothing to me. I am apart from all of that. I don't listen to the words they say. I look inside at the humility. That broken, open lowliness is the reality, not the language. Forget phraseology. I want burning. Burning. Burn up your thinking and your forms of expression. Moses, those who pay attention to ways of speaking and behaving are one sort. Lovers who burn are another. This is Adia's poem. Well, I think we'll end with this maybe. It's called Praise This Day. This essential teaching that Adia does, which I so value, which is that if you're looking for it, you're missing what's here. That anything that is other than this is a fantasy, is a thinking that you're going to find it somewhere, and it's missing what's here now. So that's what this poem is about. Save your mentally manufactured tales of enlightenment to come for someone else's ears. The price to enter this love is your hope for a better future. We are not a crowd of beggars here. You and I have been down that long twisted path all the way to its end. Here we do not ask God for favors, but instead come to celebrate the light in each other's eyes. So if you are ready to stop denying yourself your own beauty, you've come to the right place. Wake up now and praise this day when you realize that God's eyes are the ones you're looking out of and into. Praise this day, and with each breath you take, be filled with the golden arc of love that announces the ending of your argument with God. Praise this day, and with each breath you take, be filled with the golden arc of love that announces the ending of your argument with God. Praise this day simply because it exists, and sit down now in the warm skin of your own lap, for you are home, and it is time to rest in the merciful light of your own eyes. Thank you, Anna and Michael. What can purity do, my dears? What can purity do? It cuts the plow reins. It frees you from working and dining in the mud. It frees you from living your whole life from behind a big, old, smelly ox that is always breaking wind. What can purity do, my dears? It can lift your heart on a rising, bucking sun that makes the soul hunger to reach the roof of creation. It offers what the whole world wants: real knowledge and love. It offers what the wise crave: the priceless treasure of freedom. Pure, divine love is no meek priest or tight-fisted banker. It will smash all of your windows and only then throw in the holy gifts. It will allow you to befriend life and light and sanity and not even mind waking to another day. It offers the excitement of the present and the beauty of precision. It confers a vitality and a sublime clarity until all the heart can do is burst wide open with love and laughter. Oh, purity, friend, and truth within me. Why didn't you tell me sooner that you could do all of this? Cut the reins of illusion so we can all go wild, loving God and everyone all day.
Oh.